Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech. It's another beautiful Saturday morning. Cool here in Northeast Florida. Got a little bit warm earlier this week, so mining rigs obviously giving me some issues. Got a few things to talk about in today's live stream. Obviously, the market's moving sideways. Forgot to open up TradingView, so let's go ahead and do that. This past week has been kind of just, moving sideways, so to speak. We dipped down a couple times, so it's not as profitable to mine cryptocurrency, but it is still very much profitable compared to previously. But at the beginning of, let's see here, beginning of this week was the 13th, January 13th. So let's look for January 13th or February 13th. I don't know what I'm saying here. It was Valentine's Day this week, so I was busy taking care of the missus. But yeah, so we started off this week around 41, almost 42K. Went all the way up to 44, almost 45K, and came back down to 39K. And now here we are for that 40K range, which is actually, as you can see on the 4 hour, we got a death cross, if you want to call it that, happening. If we zoom out to the daily, I think the death cross already happened on a number of occasions. So one here, one there, one there. So yeah, not new though. Like, I seen this before. If we zoom way out, we've seen this before, honestly. And if you look at it, it kind of looks very similar, right? Let's see here, 64K, almost 70K. The bottom was 30K. This one was almost 30K. So 30, 30. Let's say that one's 34. But I mean, you can see, and looking at the daily, you can see how it shapes up, right? So this is, to me, this is not new. This is certainly not new, right? So we're gonna dip under. We're probably going to be moving sideways, but here's the thing. Here's my prediction, right? A lot of people are capitulating. A lot of people are very fearful of the market right now. But when those tax returns come in, they're going to be singing a different tune. And there's one of two things that's going to happen. Either the people that get their tax returns early are going to be like, I'm so happy I got in, and singing cryptocurrencies praise, or they're going to get their tax return late and be upset that they missed out on some great buying opportunities. Now, this is not financial advice, but let me just put it to you this way. The reason why most of the world is so hesitant right now in cryptocurrency is because they want to see what the regulators are going to do. But they're taking their sweet time, and we're probably going to be waiting a while for regulation to finally get it right. Like, they're trying, but they're not getting it right. I can explain that, or I can say that because of my experience with taxes this year. It's great to see the improvement, but they got a lot of work ahead of them. Telemarketers are getting on my last nerve right now. All right, so anyways, we're gonna go through some news here. That's my thoughts on the chart right now. Long term, I'm still very much bullish on cryptocurrency. It's unfortunate that the same people that are in the traditional stocks, the big money managers, the wealth investors, the venture capitalists, all the big guys are in cryptocurrency now. So, of course, when the market tanks, cryptocurrency tanks. And so it's just going to copy what the S&P, NASDAQ, all that stuff is doing. Anyways, we'll see how it pans out long term. Usually this game always happens of hopscotch, so to speak, where the regular Joes, you and me, the little money, so to speak, retail investors, find something that we can utilize to help build that financial wealth. We get in, we do good. We're starting to build up, and then the big money gets in, and we the retail investor or the little users swap over to the next big thing, whether it's NFTs, metaverse, yada yada yada. And so the game of capitalism continues, and that's just my thoughts on it. Now, people have different thoughts, and that's perfectly acceptable. Opinions are like, what, everybody's got one, but that's just my thoughts on the chart. So we're gonna go over some news. Let's get started on that. First off, thank you for everybody coming over. I want you to make sure that you check out the video. AMD driver issues on mixed rigs. I did release a video on taxes getting easier yesterday. If you really want to check that out, I would highly recommend it. But this AMD driver issue on mixed rig, I really need the community's input on. That's what the thumbnail or the image says. And so I really need your input because, you know, as AMD releases new drivers, which they just did, 22.2.2 is out. That's for Windows only, not Linux. And there's some driver improvements and stuff like that. But ultimately, the problem that we're facing is as AMD releases new driver revisions, I'm not seeing, even though it is compatible for, you know, 400 series, 500 series, I'm seeing issues when you have a 500 or a 400 series on a mixed rig with 6000 series GPUs. I'm seeing an issue with that. I'll try to isolate it a little bit more. This is pretty much, you know, a 500 series card, a bunch of 570s or 5700s, a 6600 and a 6800. And whenever I updated the driver to get the 6600 XT working on the rig, it obviously caused issues for my 500 series. And I want to see if anybody else is experiencing that. So if you got a 6000 rig, throw 480, 570, 580, whatever you got into that rig and report back. I know I not only posted here, but I posted on Reddit. But I really could use your help, so make sure you check that out. All right, so thank you again for everybody coming over from Crypto Mikel and anybody that just joined directly in. I hope you're all having a great day. Rude, Johannes, Forum, Magic. Is that Arg? Oh, wow. Agorn Strider? I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Billy, what's up, man? How you doing? Always one of the first. Some Goblin, loser, I don't know. Golden Wolf. DJ Mines, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. And AMD GPUs don't like to play well with other GPUs, even on their own sometimes. Yep, that's certainly true. All right, so let's get into the news. That's what you're really here for. How cryptocurrencies could trigger a financial crisis, says this article from CNN Business. In a new report, the Financial Stability Board, an international body that brings together regulators from 24 countries and jurisdictions, said the fast-evolving crypto market could quickly reach a point in which it becomes a threat to the global financial stability. Due to the size, structural vulnerabilities, and growing ties to trading traditional financial system, financial stability risk could rapidly escalate, the group said this week, adding that policymakers need to step up. They're talking about regulators and policymakers to hurry up. Give me 1 sec. I didn't want to sneeze in your ear. I'm not sure if you kind of held that. All right, systematically important banks and other financial institutions are increasingly willing to undertake activities and gain exposure to crypto assets, says the FSB. If the current trajectory of growth in scale and interconnectedness of crypto assets to these institutions were to continue, this could have implications for global financial stability. After a slow start, governments could begin to get more aggressive. Yahoo News reported Thursday that U.S. President Joe Biden could issue an executive order next week instructing agencies to study crypto and develop a government-wide strategy to regulate digital assets. Earlier this month, Congress held a hearing on the regulation of stablecoins. These are digital assets whose value is pegged to other currencies or commodities. But UBS doesn't think investors should hold their breath for the clearer guidance of lawmakers anytime soon. Regulators could be waiting for a long time for congressional action, and in the meantime will need to grapple with these issues using the limited and imperfect authorities they have, the Swiss bank said last week. And that's very true. As regulation has been ramping up, you know, there's a lot of gray areas that need to be kind of ironed out, needs to be kind of addressed. And you're waiting on lawmakers and you know, financial institutions and SEC and the Fed and all this other stuff to do. And now, you know, all the terms I just used there is primarily in the U.S. And you may be in a foreign country. And you might be saying, why? Why do I care what the Fed does in the U.S.? Well, it's going to impact the world because usually what happens here is going to set the precedence for the rest of the world. Now, should it do that? No. I mean, the U.S. isn't the ruler of the world, but it tends to be the one that a lot of the countries turn to or seek guidance from, even when their country may be better at something than we are. So it's very interesting to me, and it's going to take a world effort, not only from the various governments, but the various regulators, banks, and stuff like that to kind of fine-tune this situation, because as we got different countries banning cryptocurrency as a whole, and other countries grappling with it, and other countries accepting it as a legal tender, you know, you got to find that balance. So global market stabilization on Friday after the threat of potential Russian invasion in Ukraine propelled the Dow to the worst day in 2022, but uncertainty over what will happen next and what it could mean for investors is still lingering. The latest, Biden said Thursday he believes the invasion of Ukraine could happen within the next several days, while his administration top diplomat warned that Russia has not withdrawn troops despite Moscow's claims. Developments have sent the Dow down about 1.8%, while the S&P 500 dropped 2.1%, and the Nasdaq Composite shed 2.9%. Investors, wary of bad news, have been unable to maintain positive momentum in equity markets across the globe as geopolitics, political risk dominate headlines. Peter Essel, head of the portfolio management of Commonwealth Financial Network. He also added that a further escalation of tensions in the near term could roil markets. And we're going to end that article there. More importantly, I want to talk about the mentioning of, you know, President Joe Biden and, you know, issuing an executive order to instruct agencies to study crypto and develop a government-wide strategy to regulate digital assets. Before we continue into that, which is the next article, we want to talk about Charlie Munger. I really could care less of what Charlie does, and the other guy, what's his name? I can't believe I forgot his name. What is his name? He's one of the richest guys. Come on, Chris. Buffett. Warren Buffett. Thank you. I really could care less what they do. I really could care less what they say, me personally, but other people, you know, heed their advice, and they have that influence being in the game for such a long time. So Charlie Munger, crypto traders want to get rich without doing anything for civilization. So Berkshire Hathaway Vice Chairman Charlie Munger on Wednesday sharply criticized cryptocurrency traders. I remember him saying something about it being a venereal disease. And this news topic kind of circulated throughout the various outlets and yada, yada, yada. But anyways, he criticized cryptocurrency traders as participants in a get-rich-quick scheme and faulted the U.S. for what he considers to be a failure to ban cryptocurrency trading outright. Munger, who is 98, wow, man, he's old. Congratulations for living that long, Mr. Munger. But your antiquated views of the world, especially in the financial system, is getting a little bit dated, sir. So you might want to update. Go ahead and download the latest firmware version, get up to scale, and you'll be good to go. A longtime critic of cryptocurrency trading, an increasingly popular market is run by people who want to get rich for doing very little for civilization. I don't think it's good for our country. I don't think it's good that our country is going crazy over Bitcoin and its ilk. He adds, he hates it. The harsh words of the crypto mark, the latest in the series of similar comments from Munger. In recent years, he described Bitcoin as rat poison and noxious poison. Berkshire Hathaway CEO Warren Buffett and a longtime friend, colleague of Munger, has also described Bitcoin as rat poison. A survey conducted by JP Morgan last June found that 1/3 of mainstream investment firms agreeing with Buffett's characterization. Speaking to Yahoo Finance on Wednesday, Munger also directed his ire towards the U.S. government for failure to ban cryptocurrency. It was a huge mistake to allow it at all, he states. You let a bad genie out of the bottle. I think, in contrast, Munger praised China for cryptocurrency ban the country instituted in September. He thinks that communist China were wiser than we were, and they just banned it. The outlook for U.S. regulation of cryptocurrency remains unclear, though top federal officials have indicated desire to strengthen oversight. Secretary Treasury Janet Yellen has last July urged speedy adoption of rules for stablecoins in a form of cryptocurrency that pegs its value to a commodity or currency like the U.S. dollar. So, I mean, you can't fault the guy. He's an OG, you know, in the space, in the financial field. But I don't agree with it being a get-rich-quick scheme where the enthusiasts or the people participating in cryptocurrency just don't want to do anything for civilization, right? We're trying to improve civilization, the financial system more importantly, and make it, you know, trustless, decentralized, and all the other great terms that people like to throw out there. But then if you throw that out in front of Warren Buffett or Munger, they just, swipe it to the side and keep it moving and stay firm on their viewpoint. I am disappointed that there are quite a few of individuals in the cryptocurrency market who are using it as a get-rich-quick scheme, whether it's to pump up their books or to pump and dump their project and move on to the next one, and then they're not giving any tangible benefit to the world. But there are products out there that are trying to aid and help the world in different manners, right? So for example, ADA, what they're doing in Africa. There's a number of different platforms that do have tangible benefits to the world. So it's not all doom and gloom, as Munger seems to think. So moving back to the Biden situation, Biden's seen issuing crypto oversight executive order next week. So talking about next week, I believe that will be this week, right? So this came out on the 17th. We also have this previous article that came out on the 18th. It was updated. So this upcoming week that we have, if you're watching this, in the future, February, let's just say, February 21st through the 27th is going to be an important week to see what this, this executive order is what it's gonna do, what's gonna happen, and what's gonna be the overall, outcome of this particular report that they're going to provide Biden. So we'll have to see how things shape up. But even if you're in a foreign country, I would recommend keeping an eye on this. Give me a second. I'm going to tweet this out real quick. And by the way, if any of you guys are out there, retweeting, liking, even just liking, hearting, whatever, any of my tweets, I really appreciate you. Just want to make sure that's crystal clear to you. My crypto news style may not be for everybody. I completely understand. But I'm going to keep on doing what I like to do. And I'll just get better and learn over time. So we'll see how it goes. And there we go. All right, so tweet is out. Let's get back to the news article. Every article I talk about in today's video will be linked down in the description below. Make sure to check it out if you have any questions or if you want to read further. But I pretty much give you the basic gist of it. All right, so everything's saved right now. So President Biden is expecting to issue an executive order next week directing agencies across the government to study cryptocurrency central bank or CBDCs, what we heard before, come up with a government-wide strategy to regulate digital assets. According to administration official familiar with the matter, the forthcoming directive will commission a study of CBDCs and ask a range of agencies, including the Department of Treasury, State, Justice, Homeland Security, to develop a report on the future of money and payment systems. Meanwhile, the director of the Office of Science and Tech Policy will do a technical evaluation of what might be needed to support a CBD system, a CBDC. So it's kind of like an audit. PCI compliance, when you're doing PCI compliance for the network infrastructure, stuff like that, kind of like one of those reports in my understanding. I could be wrong. Let me know if you're a professional in that field. I'd be interested to hear from you down in the comments below. The move comes as Bloomberg News reported on Wednesday that the rift has developed between the White House and the Treasury over crypto regulation. Now, hang on to that statement real quick. If you remember in the previous Caffeine and Crypto, we had the Bank of Russia saying we want to stop all crypto, and then you had the Russian government and Putin being like, shut up, work with the various agencies to tax cryptocurrency. We don't want to ban it, we just want to tax it. We want to benefit from the users using cryptocurrency. So the Bank of Russia and the government of Russia weren't on the same page, and now here we are in the US where there's a rift between the White House and the Treasury over crypto regulation. But a Treasury official disputed the account as inaccurate. Now, I can't validate that's true because I'm not there. We're just relying based upon news, and news can be misconstrued. The administration engaged in a wide-ranging effort to regulate the sector with the FBI to form a new crypto unit led by seasoned computer crimes prosecutor. So the FBI is ramping up their their capabilities as far as cryptocurrency goes. And that's a good and a bad thing. Financial Stability Oversight Council, or FSOC, Created in 2008, during the 2008 financial crisis when all the banks and all that stuff crumbled, the housing market, will be asked to study really what led to FSOC being created. Is the same reason why Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin in the first place. I want you to remember that, right? Us trusting the banks and believing the banks and the government's going to do everything and do right by us and make sure our money's there. You know, make sure I can retire with Social Security. Make sure that my funds are always secure, and you know, and taking away that reliance upon the central authorities and putting it back in the users, in the end users' hands, was a huge benefit. And I still think it's a huge benefit. But the same time that the housing market and all that crash happened in 2008 is again what spurred on Satoshi Nakamoto to do what he did, which eventually led to cryptocurrency becoming more mainstream. Now, it wasn't the first time a crypto was created, but it led to the beginning of Bitcoin and all the various cryptocurrencies that soon follow suit. So anyways, you know, they will be asked, the FSOC will be asked to study financial stability issues that arise from digital assets. The President's Working Group on Financial Markets has also already tasked FSOC with looking into systemic risk of stablecoins. This week, Treasury Undersecretary Nellie Liang told Senate that the Council is discussing the prospect of risk stablecoins pose and taking steps to see what authorities regulators have. Treasury is hopeful that Congress will act since its authorities are limited. Meanwhile, the Attorney General, along with FTC and Consumer Financial Bureau Protection Bureau, will be asked to consider the impact the growth in the digital assets could have on the market competition. The SEC, the CFTC, and the Federal Reserve, FDIC, and OCC, Jesus, there's so many acronyms, are expected to weigh market protection measures within their jurisdictions. The order will also look to measure the measures to protect consumers. The order will also look at measures to protect consumers, investors, and businesses. Treasury, in consultation with the Security Exchange, or SEC, the Commodities, oh my God, and the Federal Banking Agency, will be charged of developing the report to the president and how the project against risk to the cryptocurrencies. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that report. You know, once this executive order comes out next week, we're waiting to see what that report says, how they're going to paint things. And according to this, the Office of Science and Technology Policy will submit the report to the president, digital distributed ledger technology, with 180 days. So 180 days from sometime this week, there's when we should get some information or more information. So we got plenty of time with the current regulation. There might be some small tweaks here and there. I really hope there will be. But we'll see how things pan out. With the update on the DLT and its impact on the environment in 545 days. I wonder what the impact to the environment is. That, like, are we still doing the argument about Bitcoin mining is bad for the environment? Are we really still on that? Anyways, the government will also look at coordinating, and this is where it impacts foreign countries and people in other countries. The government will also look at coordinating with other countries around the world to standardize rules for crypto. The State Department, Treasury, Commerce Department, and USAID will work to create a framework for interagency international engagement for foreign counterparts in an international forum to enhance the adoption of digital assets and standardized rules. Now, that could help out. Because getting those rules set in place, tweaking them, amending them, making them more efficient, could allow cryptocurrencies to really take off, right? Once that final flag drops, because I don't know why people are still waiting on what the regulators are going to do, and they're still not into cryptocurrency. Believe it or not, there's still a lot of people that are not into cryptocurrency because they want to wait to see what regulators are going to do and stuff like that. You know, when that happens and they get their green flag or whatever the hell they're looking for, we're going to have an influx of you know, money that comes into this market. And you know, the market's been sitting around 1.8 to about 2 trillion, right? The cryptocurrency market is around $2 trillion. It dropped down to 1.8, but you know, imagine that influx of other money, new money, if you want to call it that. Moving on to Ethereum. And let me check live chat real quick. You guys in the live chat already know that if you're trying to get my attention, you need a super chat or at me. But it looks like you guys are just here to listen to some news and make fun of me. Now, I'm going to sip some coffee. I know that made somebody mad last stream, but I'm very sorry. I'm going to sip some coffee, okay? It clears my throat, and I want some damn coffee. So, sorry. Anyways. So, Demek in the live chat says, hey, what do you think about Alephanum? Oh, I keep saying that wrong. Alphium. Is that the right word? Alphium? I know a lot of people made fun of me. Anyways, Alf. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, the project ticks all the right boxes. Whether or not it would be successful and a long-term coin to stay is yet to be determined. I haven't done a full project review on it, but I've done a bunch of videos on mining it, from pool mining to solo mining to full node mining. I've done a crap ton of videos on Alphium, and I think it's a promising project, but we have to wait and see, right? You know, it's called spec mining for a reason. Speculative mining is where you mine various cryptocurrencies with the hope or chance that it might pop off and then you're making some decent profits. I don't expect that to happen, but it has some promising attributes and it ticks all the right boxes for me. So we'll see how things go. As long as they keep developing, improving, trying to get listed on other exchanges, increase their marketing exposure on social media, they should be fine. But it's so many cryptocurrencies these days. For one project to succeed, you really got to put a lot of funds and effort into it. So anyways, analysts say Ethereum price could fall to 1,700 if current climate prevails. Right now it's at 2784. Let's go look at the chart real quick. I'm going to do against USDT. Let's see here. Probably should do Bitstamp instead of Coinbase. But anyways, so here we are. We started the week at what? We're looking at the daily. So we started the week on the 13th. So around $2,800. Got all the way up to almost $3,200. And now here we are again at $2,800. So it seems, you know, while that's a major support level, it also could turn resistance if we fall below it. You know, there's a lot of things at play for Ethereum, and they really need to get it right in order for things to go through. All right, good deal. If you have any further questions, make sure you super chat me or at me. I'll be right back. So Bitcoin and Ethereum price are still being hard hit by the current wave of volatility, and this is leading traders to go back to the drawing board and readjust their short-term expectations. On February 17th, Bitcoin price dipped below 40. Ethereum dipped or hit the support barrier at 2,900 and raises the chance to drop to $2,500. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView shows that after hovering around the 2,900 level, support for the morning hours, Ethereum hit with a wave of selling that dropped it to 2752. 2752. Where are we at right now? 2785. All right, 2785. And you can see that sharp decline. Let's actually go over to that. It's right here on the daily, right? So 16th, 17th, 18th, we put in 3 red, 4 red, 5 red. If we did pump up, we'll probably only get to 3K and that's it. Interesting. Anyways, Crypto Tony said that 3,900 remains the most pivotal area for him. If we flip that, he believes the low is in. Reject from it or fall to even reach or fail to reach it. Then we will head down to $1,700, says one person. Ether right at the super trend resistance, since it's flat, it usually has a higher chance of breaking upwards and flipping bullish. If it does flip bullish, I think 2,900 to 3K would be next, which we're close to right now. And then Pentoshi says that they will take note that there is local strength here since it held its lows, but overall still lower highs. Trend is down. If those lows break, then most altcoins turbo nuke. So I guess that means if we see Ethereum break down, we could see a number of the altcoins break down with it. And honestly, I've been telling a colleague of mine that because Bitcoin is so closely correlated with the traditional stocks, that we need Ethereum to break off. We need Ethereum to break off and go on its own trace, right? Regardless of Bitcoin is up or down, just go on its own thing, and then take the altcoins with it. But that also means it will take altcoins down with it. So we'll have to see how things pan out. Looking at the chart real quick, I think we might push up at the end of this weekend, but we'll be able to sustain it long term. I don't know, because look at the daily. Look at the 100 crossing underneath the 200. Right, it's the same thing that we had previously, but yeah. So we'll see how things go, because it's been a hot minute since the one on the daily for Ethereum that the 100 has come close to the 200. You know, it was back here in August 2021. So we'll see how things pan out. But long story short, you know, we're still in an upwards trajectory. Fall to 1700 would be a what? Let's see how big of a dip that would be if we fell from right now to $1,700. About a 38% dip down. That's pretty significant, and that will obviously cut mining profits quite a bit. But we'll see how things shape up. Ethereum's got a lot on its shoulders that it needs to execute, and execute well. So I hope they really do. Some goblin loser, I don't know, says, what? Someone got upset over a basic human function? Yes. They got mad because I sipped coffee and made the slurp sound. So I'm very sorry about that. But 4M, in your opinion, will or when do you think we will see crypto decouple from the traditional stock trends? That's a hard question, bud. I can't answer that. When will we see it? Okay. Placing a time on it is such a hard thing to do when we could see the trend is obviously there. The last time we decoupled was what? Before COVID, or sometime shortly after. It was Black Thursday. Remember Black Thursday when Bitcoin fell all the way down to the stream is dying. What are you doing, computer? I can stream to Twitch just fine. I don't know why YouTube always gives me a hard time. But Black Thursday when Bitcoin fell all the way down to $3,200. That was a big one. And then the stock market rose, Bitcoin rose, but then Bitcoin kept going, the stock market didn't keep going. So I really can't put a date on it, but I can say that I don't think that Bitcoin would decouple from the traditional. I hope it does. I wish it does. But at the rate, because of so many of the traditional investors being in the traditional markets and cryptocurrency, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Why are you dipping down? All right, let's hurry up with the stream before I don't know why it randomly does this. I have a good GPU, I have a good CPU, I have a good router, I have a good network. I don't understand why it keeps doing this. Anyways, thank you, High Speed Miner. Can you give me your opinion on BitCash? BitCash. That's the one that me and Savage were playing around with. That was on X16R. Yeah, this one was on X16R. We mined quite a bit of it. And then you could actually send this. I think you can create like a Twitter name or a handle or something like that. And you could actually send BitCash. And Savage Mine and I played around with it. And yeah. So like I say with all my cryptos, I go through a number of checks to see if it's something that I want to really get into. I don't know why it's saying it's in the red when it's not. Very interesting. But you can see that the market cap's very low. You can see that the 24-hour volume is only $16. So it's not really positive indicators. But you want to look at the markets. What are the different exchanges that it's on? Are they exchanges that you frequent or that you trust, that you would use? That's one question. You know, look at the market cap, look at the volume, look at their socials, and then more importantly, is the project developing, right? So what? You know, anybody can boost a project on social media nowadays. So a lot of bots do it. But what is the commits? Like, do they have a GitHub, and do they have a bunch of commits? Is their work being done? Are there improvements? Are there updates? Now, it does look like they updated their website since I first looked at this cryptocurrency. But this is what we would call spec mining, right? You're mining this cryptocurrency for a chance that it would pump. It did switch over to the X25X algo since originally set up. So, I mean, it looks good. It looks the part. Has a good wallet. The team, I can't say I know too terribly much. Crypto Mac, Coach Crypto. I can't say I know them too terribly much, but you just want to make sure that they're doing active developments on this particular project. If they're not developing much, then yeah. Big Cash Cedar, Big Cash. So yeah, there was a lot of activity at the very beginning. There's not much going on now. So yeah, I mean, it's a product that I played around with when it was mineable through X16R. It's got a number of exchanges that support it. It is available through PancakeSwap, so it's got that bridge, so to speak. But I mean, you could just look at a 24-hour volume and be like, okay, is this something that's going to be long-term profitable? I honestly, I couldn't say. Yeah, it's down, way down from its initial, but it's something that, let's just put it this way. It's something that you can mine. I like mineable coins. But is this something that I will long-term hodl? Probably not. It'd probably be like a short-term play, mine a couple thousand, sell when the next pump comes. When will that happen? I don't know. But you can see that the volume is terribly low, and that's very concerning. Maybe people are mining it and they're just sending it back and forth to each other. Maybe they're mining it and then not selling it. I don't know. Maybe they're hodling it long-term. You know, but it hit 2 cents on November 30th, 2021, and now it's just been chilling around less than a penny. So yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about that project right now, unless they pop off with something good, which I hope they do. So anyways, Ethereum is shaken up right now because of the market, traditional market. When will it decouple? When will the traditional market and the crypto market decouple? I can't say. But it does need to happen in order for Ethereum to be successful, because every time Ethereum or cryptocurrency as a whole attempts to pump and the stock markets do bad, the traditional people are going to reallocate their money, taking money out of the crypto market, putting it back into stocks, or vice versa, and that can take away from our overall market cap and bringing prices down even more. So in a report explained by Principles of Ethereum to investors, Morgan Stanley warned that blockchain tech underlying most of the world's decentralized finance systems today could lose dominance as rising competitors owning the network's high cost and volatility. So dominance to rising competitors owing to the network's high cost and volatility. So basically, because Ethereum's high cost, high volatility, the gas prices are ridiculous, there's other products that could take the helm. Ethereum's high transaction fees create scalability problems and threaten user demand. Morgan Stanley wrote in January report titled Cryptocurrency 201, What is Ethereum? High cost makes Ethereum too expensive for small value transactions. And that's very true. Let me go ahead and post this in a link. If I get choppy on you guys, just go ahead and check out the links in the description or come back later. I'm not sure why it's doing this again. You know, for some of you that been with the channel, you know I've been battling this. I mean, it's the same stupid issue, but I have new everything, so I don't understand. But because Ethereum is used as a building platform rather than just a trade for the trade of a single cryptocurrency, blockchain carries a significant amount of data, much more than Bitcoin, which is just used for processing transactions. Carrying extra data increases the cost of running Ethereum, and those costs will increase as Ethereum grows, which it will do. Over time, Ethereum storage demand, unless changed, will likely outstrip its resources, says Morgan Stanley. Ethereum developers have attempted to address the issue. The network's founder, Vitalik, has promised for years that Ethereum will shift from proof of work to proof of stake, which he says could reduce Ethereum's energy consumption by 99% and cut costs. However, that's not addressing some of the other issues that Ethereum has. But moving Ethereum to proof of stake has proved difficult, and the transition has been plagued with months of delays. Ethereum zealots are optimistic the transition will be completed in the first half of the year, but meanwhile, Ethereum alternatives are gaining ground on the incumbent. Among several others, prominent Ethereum competitors including Binance, Solana, Cardano. Each network, just like Ethereum, facilitates the creation of smart contracts, digital agreements that are written into the network's code and automatically fulfilled, but do so at a different price point than Ethereum. Solana, Morgan Stanley says, is designed to allow faster, cheaper, and smart contract transactions than Ethereum offers, while the other two have achieved a scale that places them as likely competitors. But despite flagging some networks as alternatives to Ethereum, the bank warns that the very principle of using blockchain tech as the basis for trade might be untenable itself, because maintaining the network requires a constant increase in the number of transactions on the network, which in turn increases costs. According to Morgan Stanley, it may be that no blockchain is scalable enough for smart contract applications. I don't think that last statement is true, but I do know that as the chain grows, Ethereum is going to have some issues. They need to get it right. So we'll have to see how things happen. Are you guys still with me in the live chat? I'm very curious. Because like my OBS thing is going off the chart, and then the YouTube stream data is like jacked up. Very interesting. I wonder why it's doing that. Let me do a quick speed test on this window over here. I mean, the only thing I could think of is because I already told Comcast, like, yo, you guys are killing me, man. Ping is good, jitter's good. Well, jitter's for cell phones. I don't know why I said that. All right, let's keep moving. Fed approves rules banning its officials from trading stocks, bonds, and other cryptocurrencies. I didn't really look too much into this, but I think this is important because, you know, the same people that are making these rules, regulations, and stuff like that don't need to be dabbling in the same projects that they're regulating. That's kind of, you know, back ass words. But you know, that I think that's a very important precedent to set. So my uploads did drop, but it's still over 30 megabits per second. So I'm not sure why things are being the way they are. I don't have anything too crazy open. So yeah, not sure what that's going on. So anyways, feds approve rules banning officials from trading stocks, bonds, and other cryptocurrencies. I don't have anything to read about this, but I'm super interested to hear your thoughts. Do you think that's accurate? Do you think that's right? You know, what are your thoughts or feelings on them doing that? And then we're gonna move on to the next one and wrap up the stream before I lose any more viewers because my connectivity is being doo-doo right now. I like this one. Keep Your Coins Act. U.S. lawmaker introduces bill to protect privacy in cryptocurrency transactions. A U.S. congressman has introduced the Keep Your Coins Act in order to preserve the Americans' right to privacy in transacting with crypto assets. And of course, it's playing a freaking video. Let me mute that. The lawmaker says this legislation will prohibit any federal agency from promulgating a rule that would impair a person's ability to act as self-custodian. I'm sorry if I butchered that word. I'm not good with words, English much. But yeah. This should be interesting to see how this particular topic pans out. We're going to see more and more of this come about, so I hope the lawmakers side on the end user and not with the big business. Specifically, this legislation would prohibit any federal agency from, I can't say that again, making a rule that would impair a person's ability to act as self-custodian. A person would be able to conduct peer-to-peer transactions with crypto assets without the need to utilize a third-party intermediary. The announcement continues. This would essentially cut out any need for financial institution or money service business to facilitate a transaction. The lawmaker from Ohio detailed as the federal government seeks more regulation for crypto ecosystem, it seeks to impose more surveillance over American citizens. It's vital that we preserve the attributes of cash transactions by protecting the permissionless nature of cash, Representative or Republican Davison stressed. No third party should be required for two people or companies to use money as a means of exchange, store value, or record of account. The bill ensures that individuals will always have the ability to transact without any intermediaries. Davison announced his intention to launch the bill Tuesday after Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau invoked the Emergencies Act. One of the measures afforded by the Canadian Act is for banks and financial service providers to be able to immediately freeze or suspend the account of an individual or business affiliated with the Freedom Convoy protests without a court order. Commenting on the Emergencies Act announcement, Davison tweeted Tuesday, "Our office will be introducing legislation in the U.S. House of Representatives shortly to protect Americans from the diversion of overt theft. And I mean, I don't want to get into the political realm. I hate getting into the political realm, but I mean, this is important, right? What we're seeing over there and for our Canadian brothers and sisters is unfortunate, right? I don't think that's a good thing that the government can just, be like, hey, this person's using this crypto and he's a part of this group or this affiliated with this situation. Let's lock it down. I don't think that's right. The cryptocurrency expert is sounding the alarm on how Canadian government is freezing crypto wallets of Freedom Convoy protesters and said it's something that can very realistically happen in the U.S. In an effort to take action against the participants of the Freedom Convoy protests, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau invoked the Emergencies Act on Monday, giving the government power to clear protests by towing vehicles and even more direct measures like freezing personal bank accounts. Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland said during a press conference Thursday that the crypto wallets have been frozen. The names of both individuals and entities as crypto wallets have been shared by the RCMP with the financial institutions and accounts have been frozen, and more accounts will be frozen, says Freeland. Nicholas Anthony, manager of Cato Institute Center for Monetary and Financial Alternatives, told Fox that the same strategy the Canadian government is using to silence protesters can very realistically happen here. Yes, no. See, this is why I hate bordering this line. I really. Anyways, I think it's really. This is the person talking again. I think it really needs to be an eye opener for Americans across the country, across political ideologies. Anthony said, but this is something that could very realistically happen here, and there's something that shows that they really need to have stronger financial privacy protections in place. I agree with that. Need to have stronger financial privacy protections in place. And really, they should have the right to their financial privacy. That's 100% correct. He added that the seizure of personal funds is something reserved for authoritarian regimes as a form of punishment for citizens who dissonate from government policy. This shouldn't be something that can just happen at whim, and seeing it just north of the border is clear evidence. Anthony's comments on the American truckers are planning the same Freedom Convoy as a way to protest the U.S. government's COVID-19 restrictions and mandates. So this all came about because the restrictions and mandates, ideology, political divides, the whole 9 yards, it caused a rift, and now here we are in this situation. But can that happen in the U.S.? I mean, it's possible, but we got to have the same people that are trying to lock things down. We got to have representing the end user and the privacy of the end user. Everybody wants to make money nowadays, and they don't care who they step on to get it. Well, I do, and I hope that the right people in the right places are going to make the right moves for the benefit of the world, not just the benefit of their pocketbook. So we'll see how the politics or shape out, or how the politicians, regulators, and financial institutions work in the future to really make this world a better place. I really hope they leave it better than they saw it or found it. Anyways, Algorand, get some good news here. Algorand is putting $20 million in funding to accelerate development in ecosystem, according to Thursday's event. Basically, the foundation officials said that $10 billion in grants, million, not billion, in grants will go to developers that can provide solutions for Ethereum virtual machines or EVM compatibility, a key cog for emerging networks. Looking to woo established projects for Algorand, EVM compatibility means applications that are built on Ethereum or other Ethereum-capable chains, compatible chains that can also execute on Algorand. Basically, long story short, they're trying to lure in some top developers, some people that want to make some changes to build on Algorand, give them the funds they need to, complete the development of said projects or whatever on it. Algorand claims to execute up to 10,000 transactions per second and costs only fractions of a cent per transaction compared to Ethereum. Let me make sure that this is in the description, and we're just going to end off the rest of the day talking to each other. If you have any questions, make sure you at me right now, because we got about 7 minutes. So just a quick summary for some of you that may just join. We talked about the market, the state of the market, what's going on, how it's correlated with the traditional markets. Unfortunately, Charlie Munger's thoughts on crypto in general. Biden administration, or Biden is executing an executive order, basically trying to get a study on cryptocurrency. We got 180 days from this upcoming week to see what that report says. Ethereum has all eyes on it. It needs to do well, and more importantly, with the merge coming, it needs to execute it. And if it doesn't execute it, that could hinder or dampen its overall, I guess you could say, what do we call it? Prestige? Not prestige. Reputation, rapport with the crypto community, whether they're miners or not, especially with the high fees and prices. The Coinbase Super Bowl ad basically, and this one just caused issues. They had to throttle the network server traffic because the web traffic uptick was so huge, and also FTX got a bunch of app downloads and signups because of their Super Bowl commercial, which is obviously what they intended to do. So last but not least, make sure you check out my video, AMD Driver issues on mixed rigs. I'll drop it in the live chat, and I'll put it in the video description. I definitely need you guys to weigh in. Let me know when you have a 5000 and a 6000 series GPU in the same AMD mixed mining rig. Are you seeing issues? What kind of issues you're seeing? Check out the video. Report back either on there or Reddit, and I greatly appreciate it. Now, for your questions, if there are any. If not, I'll just keep rambling to myself. Let's check out the transaction fee right now for Ethereum. Is $5.48. So if you need to do any transactions, you might want to do it now. Yeah, I don't know why the stream keeps dropping like that. 12 core, 24 thread. That's not really doing the encoding. The GPU is doing the encoding, and the GPU is the RTX 3080 10 gig model. Well within its constraints, well within its capabilities. The network is 2 gigabit wired, 2.5 gigabits per second wired. So physically, it's fine. And this is on a different network adapter too. I thought it was a network adapter on my main motherboard, but this is a PCI card, and it's works fine every single time. So I think something's happening with my connection with the YouTube server. I'm not entirely sure, but it's getting quite annoying because it's dropping viewers, and I don't want that to happen. I'm trying to develop a successful channel here, but it doesn't help. Every time I live stream, I have issues. All right, so that question was answered. When do we think that it might decouple? I can't give a time on when the cryptocurrency market will decouple from the traditional markets, but we'll see how things pan out long term. Oh, Dizzy Money, what's up, buddy? Love the rule, but they will circumvent it anyways. We're here, a little choppy. See, it is choppy. And so it's getting choppy right now. You see down here this number dropping. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Yeah, I mean the computer's good. Hey, what's up, son of a tech? How you doing? You can win MTR the YouTube server. Yeah, I'll play around. I've done a number of different tests to check my connectivity with the server, and it all pans out good. But then when we get into a stream, it's random. Some streams are perfect. It doesn't drop a single thing. And on some streams aren't. And I even disabled and optimized my router internally, because Trend Micro might have some issues, stuff like that, because the pre-built software or whatever. But anyways, that's my problem to figure out. Thank you anyways. I'm sorry that the stream got choppy on you guys. But yeah. So yeah, I already went through the news for everybody that just showed up late, last minute. Son of a Tech has a great morning news show. Dizzy Mining, thank you for always coming out with content on hash rates and performance. Let me know if you got anything else. I'll talk to you offline. I'm very interested to see how the ecosystem shapes up, especially for Ethereum. Like, if Ethereum, and if you haven't watched it yet, go check out Bitsby Trippin's video on his ETH merge prediction. Let's actually go look that up, because his thoughts on the merge, when it might happen and why, basically aligns with mine. It really does align with mine as far as what I'm looking for. And he has a very clear, he explains it very well. Long story short, until the code freezes, people should stop asking when is it going to happen, because nobody really knows. They may delay it one more time. I personally think, well, actually, I'm going to do a video on what I personally think. I'm not going to give it to you right now. I will do a video on what I personally think the merge will happen and why. But as far as predictions on why, Bitsby Trippin explains it in a non-technical term to end users to easily understand, and I love the way he does it. So you guys should check that out if you haven't already. He's got 14K views. But we all provided, Son of a Tech, Red Panda Mining, myself, Chump Change, everybody provided our thoughts on the ETH merge, what's going to happen, what coins we'll be able to mine in the future, what coins might be good. We all given our thoughts on it. What I'm going to be doing in the future, as well as making a video or a stream where all of your favorites are going to be talking about the merge once we get an actual definitive date. We don't have a definitive date yet, but there are signs that you can look for. So Son of a Tech. Yeah, I saw that. I'm very interested to see how. So Son of a Tech is talking about HIP 55. HIP 55 is for helium, right? So HIP 55 and HIP 54 are coming out. HIP 54 and HIP for the helium network, and HIP 55 basically moves the rewards to the validators. So it's basically they're trying to make light hotspots. And these light hotspots, you want to sync the entire chain and a number of other things if you haven't listened to it already. But if you look at it, it also just it's going to take a bit of the rewards away from the end user. So that's very, very weird. Why would you do that? And this is what I was talking about earlier with the capitalism aspect. The average user finds a way to make good money or to start building that financial wealth for themselves. Then the bigger guys come in and they figure out how to manipulate it in such a way to where they make more money and the end user just makes a little crumb off of it. So, yeah, we'll see how it pans out. Check out the live chat. Son of a Tech, I'm sure we'll come out with some content on it, but very, very weird. And I'm still losing connection. So let me just go ahead and end the stream now. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I get a 5-second ad. When it does the same, I'm on web TV, no ad. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. I'll do my best to try to figure it out, guys, but I got a good computer. I got a good router. I got a good modem. I don't know what the heck else it could be. Dizzy, I'll try to test again. But anyways, you guys have yourself a wonderful day. Please do me a favor. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you don't like it, then hit the dislike. But let me know why. Don't dislike it because of the connectivity. Dislike it because of XYZ, and then give a valid reason if you would be so kind. Some constructive criticism would be nice. I'm trying to grow with the times, but I'm not going to change who I am. Who I am is who I am. So love it, hate it, deal with it. But you all have yourself a wonderful day. So yeah, hit the like button on the way out. Make sure to get subscribed. Make sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date. Make sure to check out the links in the description to help support us and what we do here. And I will catch you in the next one. All right? Take care.